All right, hopefully you've come together now and you've figured out what your non-negotiables are. You've got some idea of what that is. You can continue to work on this. You can develop it as you go along. It's not unchangeable. Of course, it's your life. You can do what you want to do. I just want you to have some grounding so you have a base to operate from, right? All right, now we're going to talk about getting it tested. Because I tell you what, if you put it out there and you stand by it, it's going to get tested. Every time you lay down a thing and say, hey, this is my line in the sand, people are going to go, oh yeah? You know, they're dipping their foot in the sand over your line. And you have not got to let them not do that. You're not trying to, control other people. All you're trying to do is say, listen, man, this part of the sand is my part of the sand. Now, you see, a real leader knows how to protect. Why? Because self-love is very important. There's a lot of misunderstanding. And I grew up in a home of a Baptist pastor. I was very involved in a non-denominational church. I've heard a lot of stuff that's really weird about self-love. And I'm going to tell you something, man. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff you've heard from prominent people, right? That you deserve a hot bath, and you deserve chocolates, and you deserve a trip to Rome. And come on, man. We don't deserve anything. Well, what you do deserve is dignity and respect. That's a very foundational principle. You were made in the image of God, man. I don't care what your spiritual thing is. I'm not trying to get into something, but you're a really amazing human being. You have value and you have worth and you have a destiny to go out and impact other people's lives. And because of that, and because you know who you are, you're not just going to give yourself away to anybody. You have value, you have worth, man. You know what you can accomplish in life. This is where that vision becomes so important. Who am I? What is my destiny? How can I get there? Now, here's the key point. If you don't know what your non-negotiables are, which we did in the last video, then you can't defend them. How do you defend that? Well, I'm going to tell you some examples. I was just on a business trip, and the business partner relationship was supposed to pick me up at the airport. We had a little altercation. He starts screaming and yelling and completely out of control. It was just beyond anything that I've actually seen in recent memory for an adult, act like a 5-year-old kid, actually. It was unbelievable to me. Now, I had a meeting that I wanted to get to and to close a deal, so I overlooked the behavior. I violated my own things. I'm sharing with you my examples of what not to do. And you know what? The rest of the trip was a failure. My business meeting got canceled that we were supposed to go to. It was a disaster. My thought in the head at the time was, tell this guy, I'm not going to go forward with our meetings. I'm sorry. You've violated my core space. I love you as a human being, and I really want the best for you, but I have to protect my space. And go back into the airport and fly back home again, which is what I should have done. Now, I learned something from that. Again, we go back to learning. There's no shaming. I'm not guilty. You know what? I learned from that and said, I will never let that happen again. I don't care how powerful or influential or how much I need somebody for something. I'm never going to do that because my space is my space. I have the right to defend that. So I encourage you today to do that, to stand by your grounds. Well, okay, let's say you're in a romantic relationship and she's coming up and going, yeah, and she's just fighting and pushing, and you have boundaries, and she's pushing over your boundaries. You say, listen, I'm not doing this. Listen, this is very serious ground here, and I'm out if we're going to have to be out. If that's what you have to do, you cannot be afraid to walk when you need to walk. I'm going to tell you something. I see so many guys actually out kissing ass, afraid they're going to lose their girl. Women hate that stuff, man. I'm being really honest with you. I'm telling you, as a man who has many friends, female friends around the world, they will tell you this in harmony. And maybe later we can actually have some of them share. I would love to do that sometime. But they hate that. Stand by your word. So if you've got a boundary and you've got it up, stick to it. And don't be afraid to walk. And man, if she's coming back and she's really repentant and she's just pouring her heart out and saying, I really screwed up. You go, okay, you can make the choice. Do you want to give her another chance or do you not? That's your choice. You get to have that choice. What you don't want to do is get in a repetitive pattern where this keeps happening over and over again. If she hasn't learned from the mistake, then you got to cut it off. So there's some great examples about just simply how to protect your space and how to protect your core convictions and your core things, okay? All right, we're going to move on to the next one.